Marcus was 24 years old, living in Melbourne, earning $65,000 a year. Not rich, not broke, just average. He had $3,200 in his bank account, a gym membership he hadn't used in 4 months, and absolutely no idea what he was actually supposed to be doing with his money. Sound familiar? Fast forward 6 years. Marcus is 30, and sitting in his accounts across savings and investments is just over $103,000. No inheritance, no lucky crypto trade, no second job, no side hustle, no sacrificing everything he enjoyed. Just one system, applied consistently, every single month. And in the next 12 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what that system looked like, step by step, so you can copy it starting this week. Let's get into it. Quick one before we dive in. This is general education only, not personal financial advice. Always do your own research or chat to a licensed advisor before making any money moves. Here's something most people get completely wrong about money. They think the secret to building wealth is earning more. Get a raise, get a promotion, land a higher paying job. Then I'll start saving properly. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people who earn more just spend more. Marcus had a colleague, let's call him Dan. Same age, same salary, same city. Over those same 6 years, Dan did what most people do. He spent what came in, saved whatever was left, which was usually nothing, and told himself he'd start properly after his next pay rise. At 30, Dan had $4,800 in savings, and a newer iPhone. The difference between Marcus and Dan wasn't income. It wasn't luck. It wasn't even discipline in the way most people think about it. It was one decision Marcus made at 24 that Dan kept putting off. He decided to treat saving like a bill, not an afterthought. So here is Marcus's system, 4 steps. I'm going to walk you through each one exactly as he did it. Step 1, he figured out his actual number. Most people skip this step entirely. They just try to save more without knowing what more actually means. Marcus sat down one Sunday and did the maths. $100,000 over 6 years. That's roughly $1,390 a month. On a $65,000 salary, after tax he was taking home about $4,900 a month. So we're talking about 28% of his take-home pay. Ambitious, but actually achievable. The key thing here, he had a specific number. Not, I want to save more. Not, I'll try to put away a bit each week. $1,390 a month. $100,000. 6 years. That's it. Step 2, the 3-bucket split. Here's where most savings advice falls apart. People treat saving like one big pile of money you just try to grow. Marcus split his $1,390 into 3 buckets, each one with a specific job. Bucket 1, $500 per month into a high-interest savings account. This was his safety net. His emergency fund, he used a bank like ING or UBank, 2 of the most competitive options in Australia right now. ING's Savings Maximizer offers up to 5.50% per annum on balances up to $100,000 as long as you deposit at least $1,000 a month and make 5 card purchases. UBank offers up to 5.10% per annum ongoing. You just need to deposit $500 a month and grow your balance. Both are essentially free money on your savings as long as you meet the monthly criteria, which, if you're automating your deposits anyway, you basically will. This money had one rule. Don't touch it unless it's a genuine emergency. Not for holidays, not for a new laptop. For sleeping at night knowing he had a financial cushion. Bucket 2, $600 per month into a low-cost index fund ETF. This is where the real wealth building happened. Marcus didn't try to pick stocks. He didn't watch the market every morning. He chose one simple ETF and bought the same amount every single month. Rain or shine, market up or down. For Australians, the main options are VAS, Vanguard Australian Shares ETF. Tracks the top 300 Australian companies. Management fee of just 0.07% per annum. That's 70 cents per year for every $1,000 invested. VGS, Vanguard International Shares ETF. Gives you exposure to thousands of companies across global markets. Fee of 0.18% per annum. $1.80 per $1,000. VDHG, Vanguard Diversified High Growth ETF, a one-fund solution that blends Australian and global shares automatically. Fee of 0.27% per annum, $2.70 per $1,000. Marcus went with a mix of VAS and VGS for simplicity and low fees. For brokerage, he used Perla at $6.50 per trade, and certain ETFs held for 12 months or more are actually brokerage-free. Stake is another option at just $3 per trade for amounts under $30,000. This strategy is called dollar cost averaging. When prices are high, he bought fewer units. When prices dropped, he automatically bought more. Over time, it smooths out the volatility and builds a growing position without requiring any skill or timing. Bucket 3, $290 per month into an offset account. Marcus knew he wanted to buy a property in about 3 to 4 years, so instead of parking this money in a regular savings account, he put it in an offset account linked to a future home loan, or in the meantime, a high-yield account earmarked specifically for a deposit. It sat there growing quietly, without tempting him to spend it, and without being locked away where he couldn't access it. Step 3. Automation. The trick that made it stick. Here's the part that most people skip, and it's honestly the most important part of the entire system. Marcus automated everything. On payday, the moment his salary hit his account, before he could spend a single dollar, $1,390 was already gone, split automatically across his 3 buckets via scheduled transfers. He never had to make a decision. He never had to resist the temptation to spend it. The money just moved on its own. What was left, about $3,500, was his to live on guilt-free. Rent, food, going out, weekends away. He didn't track every coffee. He didn't obsess over his spending. He just lived on what remained. This concept has a name, paying yourself first, and it's the single biggest behavioral shift between people who build wealth and people who don't. Most people save whatever's left at the end of the month. People like Marcus save first and live on the rest. It sounds simple, but when you automate it, you remove willpower from the equation entirely. Step 4. The compound effect kicked in. Now here's where Marcus's story gets interesting, because for the first 2 years, nothing felt exciting. Year 1. ETF portfolio grew to around $7,800, plus $6,000 in savings. Total, roughly $14,000, not life-changing. Year 2, ETF at $16,400, savings at $12,000. Total around $28,000, still not dramatically impressive. Year 3, he hit $28,000 in the ETF alone, plus $18,000 across savings and property buffer. Total, $46,000. He was halfway there, and he hadn't changed anything. Then in year 4, the share market had a rough patch. Some months his portfolio was actually worth less than what he'd contributed. But Marcus kept buying. In fact, he increased his monthly contribution slightly because units were now cheaper, effectively getting more for his money. This is the part that separates the people who actually build wealth from the people who try and give up. The down periods are not disasters, they're discounts. By year 6, $103,000. His ETF portfolio alone had grown to $68,000, but Marcus had only contributed $43,200 of his own money into it. The other $24,800? That was compound growth. Returns generating more returns. Money that made money without Marcus lifting a finger. That's the power of starting early, staying consistent, and not touching it. Here's the honest truth about Marcus's story. It wasn't glamorous. There was no single moment where everything changed. No viral investment, no big win, no lucky break. Just $1,390 a month, split 3 ways, automated, repeated, for 6 years. The first $100,000 is always the hardest. But it's also the most important, because once that money is working for you, the next $100,000 comes faster. And the one after that, faster still. Marcus isn't retired. He's not a millionaire, but at 30, he has more financial security than the majority of people twice his age. He has options. He has choices. And it all started with one Sunday afternoon, a simple spreadsheet, and the decision to stop waiting until later. Your action plan. Work out your number, what's your target, and your timeline. Open a high-interest saving account, ING Savings Maximizer, 5.50% per annum, or Ubank Save, 5.0% per annum. Open a brokerage account, Perla, $6.50 per trade, some ETFs brokerage-free or stake, $3 per trade. Pick one ETF, VAS 0.07% fee for Australia, VGS 0.18% fee for global, or VDHG 0.27% fee for a one-fund diversified option. Automate your transfers on payday before you can spend it. Don't touch it. That's it. No secret strategy. No insider knowledge. No finance degree required. Just a system that works if you work it. If this video helped you, subscribe. I drop new videos every week breaking down exactly how everyday Australians and people around the world are building real wealth without the confusing jargon.